Hey guys, what's up? My name is Karis. I know I said noon. I got bored and hungry, so I was like, let's knock this shit out. Welcome to the furnace drill. This is the drill that I did not come up with. I don't know who the fuck did, but I didn't come up with it. That's all you need to know. It is the way to break down the hardstyle Turkish get-up. If you have learned the get-up before in other settings and it took you like 5 minutes to pick it up, that's not really the Turkish get-up. I've been ranting about this shit forever. You guys know I'm ranting all the time anyway. People just don't get that there are some things that take practice, technique, and skill. And they just want to like stroll in and, you know, back squat and kettlebell swing, but not actually spend any time learning these skills. I'm here to say fucking stop it, but also to teach you how to do this so that you can practice and then one day be able to do the Turkish get-up. So we're gonna do a really quick warm-up first. You don't need any equipment, but I do have some loop bands. I'm gonna take you through a quick warm-up. If you have one of these rubber ones, that's fine. You should invest in a slingshot though, they're way better. And if you have the skinniest, skinny pull-up assist band, that's good. Or if you have a TheraBand, that's my other preference. This is the warm-up that I often do before kettlebell workouts. It gives you an opportunity to scan through your body, and it gets every joint all fired up and shit. So standing up tall, I'll try to get tension out of your neck, lower your chin to your chest, and then reach your head back. Just do that 3 times total. It's hard not to tense up my shoulders. And then ear to shoulder. Make sure that you're always being gentle with your neck. Hopefully that kind of goes without saying. And then sweep your chin from side to side. Okay, and then roll your shoulders back. 2, 3, and forward. 1, 2, and 3. And then arms come out into a T. These are called Egyptians. 1 palm up, 1 palm down. Reach and look over the palm that's up. And flip. Just opening up the side body. Abs are in. I know this looks kind of funny, but I don't fucking care. I'm also the person that has Christmas lights up year-round now because I'm fucking making my own holiday, and it's 365, motherfuckers. I figure you're just copying me at this point. You should be. So S is in. Not trying to like touch my fingers or something. I'm literally just moving my shoulders. And then interlace your fingers. Roll the wrists in one direction. You will need your wrists to be warm. And then switch directions. I confused myself. Directionally challenged. And shake it out. And then feet are about hip width apart. Hands on the hips. And you'll roll the hips. Abs are in. So try not to dump into your low back. Switch directions. 3, 2, and 1. Counting is also not my strong suit. So if that's important to you, you should count yourself. Bend the knees, hands on the thighs, roll the knees, and switch directions. Every time I do this, I'm like, what the fuck's my problem? Why don't I do this more often? Extend and bend. I'll also warn you guys that when I bend my knees make a really horrific sound. Bend forward and roll up, 1 vertebra at a time. Plant 1 big toe down, or one side of the foot, and then roll the hip in one direction and switch directions. I also think numbers are arbitrary for what it's worth. Just go until it feels good. Okay, press that 1 foot down, working a little balance, which the get-up also addresses. Point and flex, point and flex, point and flex. Big circles in one direction. You guys know knee and feet. Switch directions. 2, 3, bring that leg up. Rotate at the hip. 2, 3, switch directions. 1, 2, 3. Make sure you're not going to kick anything. And then sweep that leg back and forth. Trying to keep your pelvis as stable as you can. Shake it out. Then other side, put the toes down. Circle the hip. Anyway, don't be concerned about my knees. And switch directions. 2 and 3. Remember, the joint making noise isn't necessarily an issue, especially if you're not a spring chicken. All right, balance on the other side, which that side clearly doesn't like being balanced right now. Point and flex. But again, that's kind of the point of doing this whole kind of like body scan, is to see how your body feels so that you can pay a little more attention to it throughout the workout. And also just giving it a little bit of attention usually gets it to get its shit together. You'll notice it got its shit together. And then kick back and forth. The thing about lives that always freaks me out is I really don't want to hurt myself live, because that would be shameful. Because if I was watching, I would think it was pretty funny. So you can grab whatever band you have. If you have it, if you don't, you can just mimic the movement. Band pull aparts. Make sure that your knuckles stay pointed forward, so don't bend your wrists. Press out with the pinky. See how my wrists are completely straight. I'm ending up with the band towards the bottom of my sternum, and then up and over. If you don't have a band, you can just do the shoulder rolls like we did a second ago. You can do all this shit without equipment, but you guys see my tricked out tiny ass apartment gym. All the shit I got. All right, let's do some glute bridges and planks, and then we're gonna get started on the furnace drill. The furnace drill is kind of like a warm-up mobility drill on its own, but it can be a little awkward if you haven't done it before. If you don't have this band too, that's fine. We're just lifting and squeezing your butt. So this is the back extension. This tuck here, that's glutes. You guys can see me well there. So tucking, abs in, shoulders down, triceps and lats. Really just trying to get some like elongation through the front of the hip. And your knees are abducted, just like your hips are abducted. But if you feel your hamstring, you're arching your back. And make sure, even if it doesn't feel like you are, and make sure that you're pressing evenly through both feet. Let's do more. 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and take that band off. Now hopefully since you're watching this, you know how much the plank means to me, and how everything loaded is in some way or another a plank. Same is true for the Turkish Getup. Okay, so make sure that your palms or hands are parallel to each other. You don't want to be out like this, and make sure that your elbows are going to be in line with your hands. So before you come up, I want you to push the floor away, so protract your shoulders, and then depress your shoulders. See how I kind of pulled my body forward? And then my job is to try to maintain that position. That way I don't have to go looking for it. Soften your knees and think about hollowing out your abdomen. See how I tuck my pelvis under without rounding my upper back? And I started shaking when I did that because now I am working. Think about lightly squeezing your elbows together. Think about trying to drag your elbows down to your toes. Think about trying to drag your toes to your elbows. Flex your abs, flex your lats, flex your butt, and lower down. Okay, let's get this show on the road. All right, to break down for you what the furnace drill is. I know I kind of did, but let's go into a little more detail. I have a 25-pound or 12-kilo bell and a 35-pound and 16-kilo bell. I'm probably going to use the 16-kilo the whole time, mainly because I want to show you guys that you can get a kick-ass workout with this drill, even if you're really experienced with kettlebells. So if you're not experienced, meaning you're pretty much newcomer, then you can just do the whole thing without any weight. In fact, that would be the safest way to go about it, because you'd be amazed at how, first of all, it's hard to even do this without weight, but then to maintain this while you're trying to move is really challenging. Just be smart, don't be stupid, and don't drop a kettlebell on your head. Just pro tip. If you are going to use a light bell for the furnace drill, like you've done get-ups but you're not like a pro, then I would say something like probably 12 kilo is good. And then you're going to need a heavier bell for what we're going to do in between the furnace drill. So what we'll do is a deconstructed get-up starting from the top. So this position, the first movement of the get-up is a reverse lunge, right, an overhead reverse lunge. So we're going to do that movement 5 times. And then we're going to do 5 to 10 kettlebell swings. 10 if you want more of a challenge, and you've done this before and you're moving really quickly. Then you're going to do the 5 overhead reverse lunges on the other side and do 5 to 10 goblet squats. Then you're going to come back and you're going to do the next movement in the get up. And I'm going to break it down for you. The whole point is that you have this kind of like framework to work with so that in the future you can refer to it and actually practice the fucking get up so that you learn it. I know, that's not sexy. Everyone just wants to be able to walk into a fucking class and do everything. But I'm here to tell you that's not how my classes work, because I don't teach fucking classes. Okay, although I could. I take that back. Okay, so with the overhead lunge, you're gonna bring the bell safely up to this position, and then, I know this seems dumb, you're gonna slap the outside of your leg. And that's how you remember what leg moves backwards. Seems really stupid, but you would be amazed at how many years you can go and still be like, wait, what the fuck, what side? But that's kind of the beauty of it, right? It works coordination as well. Okay, so if you know how to clean the bell, you can clean and then press. What the fuck have I done? I might have to switch to the 12. So my right side is loaded, that means my left side is coming back. You want to be up on those toes and see 90-degree angles. So obviously, if balance is an issue, you're not going to be able to do this very well. And that's okay, that's kind of the point. Balance is the first step. So here's 5, I think. Okay, then I'm going to pull the bell down, lower it all the way to the floor, and I'm going to do 5 kettlebell swings. Remember, you can do 10 if you want more of a challenge. 3, 4, 5. And then we'll go right into the other side. So again, if you're a beginner, just take breaks as you need it. Okay, so now this leg goes back. So 90-degree angle, see how I'm not shifting forward into this knee? And try to stay up on that back toe. Last one, I think. Control it down. And then I'm going to do 5 goblet squats. You can call it the fucking furnace drill for a reason. So remember with the goblet squat, two-handed clean, the bell's out in front of you, sit down and back. So remember, it's a hip hinge as well, so we're not coming straight down, we're sitting back and down, and we're not bottoming out either. Just going right below parallel. And then this bell comes back down. You guys, if nothing else, today's an opportunity to watch me suffer. This is like what COVID feels like. Just kidding. So the next movement, I'm going to show you without the bell first. See? Come back, and it's a windshield wiper. And so what I'm doing with that movement is externally rotating my hip. Okay, so I'm not rotating this way. If you've done a curtsy lunge before, or sumo walk, and that's actually why I was using the bell just a moment ago, what you're doing is just rotating this hip open to engage the glute, okay? So you definitely need a mat or something for this, and if it hurts your knees, you could just use some kind of squishy mat, like roll your mat up, that's fine. In fact, that's probably what I'm gonna do so I don't trip over it when I get to the sweep. All right, get this show on the road, cleaning on the right. So going back in that overhead lunge first, and then windshield wiper. I'm going to show you guys this one from the front view too. Okay, that was 5. Coming up, lower down, lower down. Really don't want to smash my bell into my kitchen. I'm already in a war with this fucking cornerstone bullshit. If you can believe it, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm going to show you from the front view. Crotch shot. That's why you're here. That's why I wore red pants. Just kidding. I wore red pants because I fucking wanted to. Okay. Clean. Press. Right side is going back. Okay, so externally rotate. 2, 3. Really ground this leg too. And that's how you prevent the rest of your body from rotating. Then come up and lower down. It's very difficult for people to keep their toe down because their toes are weak. That's why this is good for that. Okay, goblet squat. Okay. Chest up without arching your back. Last one. Lower it down. So the next is the half windmill. And if you watched my tutorial the other day, a full windmill is like this. So it's a hip hinge in this direction and a thoracic rotation this way. You've probably seen it done horribly in the gym. I can almost guarantee it. But here, it's going to be a half windmill. So your hip's in a flexed position, which is going to make it easier from a mobility standpoint. So windshield wiper, and then you hinge your hips back, right? You get this view, because remember, if it's a hip hinge, you should be able to look down my shirt. So we don't want to be here. And one trick that you can do is slide the hand down the thigh and come out like so. And that's going to help you remember where to position your hand as you're coming down from the Getup. From the Getup. And if you saw the video too, you probably saw how I delighted in the fact that ultimately this is a plank, right? So we want to address it as so. When you come back up, hinge. Hinge down, hinge back up, okay? Let's do that right side. Press. Left side is going back. Windshield wiper. And then hinge. And plant that hand in the half windmill. And then my butt comes back. Right, so you see how my hips are sitting back. Right, and as you can probably imagine, this is a lot of fucking work. Was that 4? I don't even know. Down and out. Make sure this elbow is completely straight. I know you can't see it, but you're gonna see it in a second. Windshield wiper, lift, pull it down, lower it down all the way. Swing. And then we'll do the other side. My downstairs neighbors definitely don't like me. Okay, clean on the left. Right side goes back. So now you'll see a different angle. Still up on my toes. Windshield wiper out onto that hand. So it's a lot of right angles, which I really fucking love. Just like how geometrically sound this is. Hips back. Hands are directly stacked over each other, right? Down. I think that was 5. Stepping up and down. Some people, when they do the furnace drill, in fact, I think the original way is to go for time. That's definitely people's preference when they're working with me because I count like shit. Goblet squat. 1, 2. Okay. And now here's the tricky part. I'm just gonna get rid of this. There, problem solved. So, you're gonna come back, you do the windshield wiper, you're gonna hinge into that half windmill, and then, see how I scooted that leg? That's the beauty of the Getup. You can adjust as you go. You don't have to fucking commit to a shitty position. So now, that part I showed you with the plank, this is where that's gonna come in handy, because you need to lift yourself using your lat, okay? And keeping yourself stable here. So you're gonna lift yourself and sweep the hip through and lower it down. Some people do a big bridge. I don't do that. I didn't learn it that way, and I don't really give a shit. I have other goals with this. The hard part too is gonna be precision, where your knee ends up every time. So if your knee is ending up like here, right, you need to obviously try to get it in line with that hand better. That will come with time and practice, which I think I said like 3,000 times. Of all the movements to go without a kettlebell, this is probably the one if you're inexperienced. And you know, maybe you can watch me kill myself with a kettlebell. Just kidding. A little deconditioned, guys. Press. Okay, so left leg goes back. Windshield wiper. Hinge. Sweep. Okay. This is not a good surface to do this on because this rug is like super slippery. I feel like I'm sliding into home days. I'm just kidding, I've never done baseball. And then up. Up all the way. And lower it down. So you're gonna watch from this side because I want you to see what's going on with this arm. This arm is the one that's working overtime. Sorry, I'm trying to buy time between swinging. Okay. So let's do the sweep on the other side. We're almost done. Okay. Then windshield wiper, half windmill. See how the shoulders open? It's another plank, motherfuckers. Precision is a big part of kettlebell training. And guess how you get that? Fucking practice. This is exhausting. So I call it the fucking furnace drill. I'm sweating my balls off right now. I had to turn the heat off. Goblet squat. Okay. And now, the half get up. Give me a sec. Alright. So the half get up, I'll actually show you from the bottom, is an exercise in and of itself. So, what I'm trying not to talk shit about, but what I'm talking shit about is CrossFit. I want to say I have love for CrossFit. I really do. It's more like teaching complex movements in a group setting where even the best coach can't manage people's form. So, in CrossFit, if you've seen the get up done, they do like this. That's not what you're doing. First of all, that's like a ton of load on your lumbar spine. What you're trying to do is actually doing like, kind of like a half glute bridge. See how I kind of roll? And then I use the side body to anchor me. Ah! You guys know how much I get off the fucking planks. Then this hand kind of spins and pushes me up to get ready for the sweep, okay? So it's here, here, going back on a diagonal onto the shoulder, brace. You gotta use both legs. So I'm pushing down with this hamstring isometrically and this foot and glute. See how it's externally rotated again? Pushing this hand and up. So let's do the right side. I'm showing an incredible amount of restraint. There's like 2 people. Sorry guys, I'm taking my shirt off. I'm fucking hot. Oh. I know. Seen one, you've seen them all. Meaning video of me with my shirt off, not boobs. Because I have 2. The left leg comes back. Windmill. And sweep. Okay? So now, see how much this side of my body is working to prevent me from collapsing? See how this butt cheek rolled up and then pulled out? You know that cue with the squat? Knees open. It's kind of like that. Only, just like that cue, it comes from your foot, not from your knee. And then we're coming up with this sweep. Whew. Motherfucking furnace drill. You know, the first time I did this, my coach had us do 45 minutes of one side, And then we had to do fucking flexed arm hang for 45 seconds. It was the most miserable thing I've ever done. He was a brilliant kettlebell instructor. Hardest fucking workouts of my entire life. Okay, trying to get this shit over with. Let's do the other side. Press. So now you'll see this side. So the working side, in other words. Windshield wiper, half windmill, sweep, forearm, roll on that diagonal onto the shoulder. When you're doing a heavy weight, it's not abnormal for this leg to kick up. It's not ideal, but it's not, like if you're doing a legitimate weight, it's okay. But also if you're doing it as a beginner, that's okay too. You'll learn. You'll learn. And goblet squat. So I think the other thing that really limits people a lot from learning skills is they have this expectation that it has to look perfect that day. Like, oh my god, my swing looks so stupid. Yeah, no shit, you just learned it. Like, what do you think, it's gonna look great? There's no like joy in the process of learning, which I know makes me sound like a humongous nerd, but I'm so fucking tired of that kind of culture. I've worked in a lot of group fitness facilities. Can you tell? Kettlebell group fitness is different because they require private sessions. And if your gym does too, that's awesome. And if your group is small, that's fine. But teaching complicated shit in like these big groups is so fucking stupid. I'm gonna try to get out of it, but I'm gonna do it anyway because I was 5 minutes late. I was on Cara's time. We're gonna do the full get up, which is how you actually finish the furnace drill. And we're gonna start, at the bottom and go up like your traditional get up. And this is how you learn to break it down. So, anytime that you get the bell into position on your back, you don't want to pick it up like this. I don't care how fucking light the bell is. I don't care if you're not using a bell. You have to practice rituals that protect your body now. Because when you're trying to do a get up with 70 pounds, if you haven't practiced how to do that, like that's gonna be the biggest problem. It's like practicing your back squat without learning how to unrack. Like it's just such a huge part. It's turned into a lecture, but I think they always do. So this is the hand that'll be loaded, that wraps around the bell. I will usually use this other arm to guide it into position. Oh, the stability ball is trying to fuck with me. Dick. Oh, he obeyed. Okay, so this arm is down, my left side, watching the bell loaded side. The one other detail I didn't mention is that up until this part, you're looking at the bell. So I'm looking forward, windshield wiper, and then I look up at the bell. Here, and roll on that diagonal, and then you want to safely get the bell back down. Don't pass the bell over your body, because that's a really dumb way to kill yourself. Let's see the left side. Here's the funny thing about the left side. I'll always finish a little crooked. I don't know why. Probably because I'm a little crooked, but it's kind of funny to watch. Like I'm looking at the back door or something. So you can see how much more technical this is than the version you'd learn in CrossFit. And I want to say, in CrossFit, their sport is to go fast. Like that's the whole point of the sport. So you can't really be overly critical of it. We're done. The only criticism I have is really people thinking that it means that they know how to do everything just because they learned it in CrossFit. Again, I think CrossFit has actually done a lot for women strength sports. I mean, women lifting weights was not fucking cool before CrossFit, or having muscles, or in kettlebells for that matter. So I don't want to rag on it too much. There's problems with everything, but you have to remember that there are different ways to learn different things, and only being open to learn about those different things is the only way to mastery. Okay, my name is Karis, sweaty as fuck, furnace fucking drill. I hope you practice it. It can be really rewarding. I know, I'm just lecturing the shit out of you. I'm just like a grouchy old lady. I'm so pissed. Learn your shit. I'm gonna do a Pilates class after this because this bitch needs fucking Pilates. I don't know how long it's gonna be. I don't even know what I'm gonna do, but I'll be back in like 20 minutes after I hose off. You guys are the best. Love you. I'll see you later. Practice your fucking get-ups.